Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. Don't know why I'm coughing. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's fantastic. As I mentioned yesterday, we have a conversation for today. So we just spent the last 4 days talking about how awesome my trip to Mexico was. Today is going to be a little bit deeper, a lot deeper, actually. And this is based on a comment that I received yesterday, or maybe this is the day before, on an older video. Not a super old video, but like start of the pandemic video. And I'll try to remember to put a link up here so you can watch it if you want to review. But the synopsis of the video was that the title of the video is called "Being Told What to Do," and the synopsis of that video is: I work best when I'm told what to do. I'm very good at being a servant. We've talked about this for years and years and years about servitude is my comfort zone. And I work best with clearly defined goals and expectations. If somebody says, I would like something like this, go figure it out, that doesn't work for me very well. I can do it, but I'm constantly guessing whether what I'm doing is what they actually want. And so that was kind of the genesis of the gist of that video. I work best when you say, I want a thing that looks exactly like this, and I go, done. You can leave it up to me how to get there, but if you go, I want a thing that resembles this, nah, that's a very different thing. So, a video about me wanting to be told what to do. I work the best that way. And so this is a video from Eric, or a video. This is a question from Eric about that video. Eric says, this is an awesome monologue and I really enjoyed the video. Thank you. Serious question. Do you feel that you're easily manipulated? And when I first read it, I just immediately dismissed that question. Like, no, obviously not. But then it's been stuck in my head for the last day because of, thinking it in context of that video, being a person who likes to be subservient, being a person who likes to be, I like being told what to do. I like having clear goals and expectations. Does that not inherently open me up to be manipulated? I guess yes. So here to take this thought kind of in a different direction for a little bit. I would say I'm a fairly unique person. Most people in my life would say, you're very unique. Where did you get this? We've talked before about wearing hockey jerseys with a fedora. That was my style for a long time. I have all these little pieces of me that make me very different from everybody else. I don't follow trends very well. Just never have. I've also always felt like no part of me is unique. Meaning that I've taken all of those things from bits and pieces of things that I enjoy. The fedora came from Indiana Jones. The hockey jerseys came from MacGyver. The Swiss Army knife in my pocket came from MacGyver. My love of hockey came from my friend Mark. I liked hockey, but he really was like, hockey. And I went, yeah, hockey. Let's do hockey together. My favorite music has always been somebody else, said, here's some music, and I went, yeah, I really like that. Now lately, I've been on a little bit more of a personal musical journey, but for the longest time, everything that I liked, everything that I did, every part of my personality was just taken from something else and go, oh, I like that, I like that. I think that's fine, because I for a long time, I felt like a phony, as people would say, oh, you're so unique. And I was like, am I? Like, I could pinpoint where all these bits and pieces came from. But the difference is, there are people who copy entire, like, that's my style. Like, I see a person, I go, I'm copying that. And that wasn't who I was. And that's still not who I am. So, I've never felt as individual as people think I am. Just to take this on a different direction. Does that correlate to manipulability? Like me seeing something and going, I'm going to do that now? Is that me being manipulated by the presence of whatever that is? I would like to think that advertising does not have the same impact on me as mostly because if I see an advertisement, I'm less likely to purchase that product. I feel like I will actively avoid that product. like intentionally go, nope, there's got to be a better solution. Because I've always felt like the products that advertise the most are the least worthy of my time because they can't live off of word of mouth. They have to live off of just forcing products down your throat. And so I've actively avoided products. I actively avoid wearing clothing that has some sort of branding. Now, sports teams, you've seen T-shirts that are Rick and Morty or whatever. That's a little bit different. But I don't. You're never going to see me wearing a beer shirt like for some beer company. You're never going to see me wearing a beer hat or a tool company or whatever. I just don't do it because I don't want to be a part of that problem, right? So there's two sides to this, I guess. Am I easily manipulated? I would say in some regards, yeah. I think I could honestly say that I have allowed in my life, for large portions of my life, I have allowed people to manipulate the way that I feel about myself. I have allowed outsiders, I have allowed people close to me to manipulate me and to make me believe some part of myself that, either I don't like or I do like. But I'm also very stubborn. I am extremely stubborn. And if somebody asks me or tries to get me to do something that I don't want to do, I'm not doing it, period. And I have, I don't want to say I have grave morals. I don't think I do. I've definitely never been like a by the book citizen. I have definitely done things that are, probably shouldn't have done that. But I'm not going to be the person that's going to easily be fooled into robbing a bank with somebody or selling, massive amounts of illicit substances for somebody. Like, I'm not that person. I'm not going to be manipulated into that. Could I be talked into doing something that I'm uncomfortable with? Probably, if it's not, if it's not illegal, one, if it's not going to harm, my children, two, I'm trying to think of a good example. I don't have a whole lot of fears. So there's nothing that it would be like jumping out of a plane. Like, I'd have no problem jumping out of a plane. So no, I wouldn't have to be talked into that. But, well, on the trip, like swimming, I don't really enjoy swimming. I never have. I don't enjoy getting in the pool. I don't really enjoy getting in the ocean. But my kid really wanted to go snorkeling. And I used to scuba dive, and I do enjoy scuba diving. And so snorkeling is scuba diving adjacent. And so did my kid manipulate me into scuba diving by saying, Dad, can we go snorkeling together? I don't, maybe there was some manipulation. Because had my kid not kind of went, I'd really like to do that with you, I wouldn't have done it. Right, I would have just been like, nah, I'm good. Like, I just don't want to get wet. I don't want to get, that's just bothersome. Things like that. Is that manipulation? I think it is, honestly. Like, if, looking at it through that lens, am I being manipulated? Yeah. I did a thing I didn't want to do. In the end, I'm very happy I did it. We enjoyed our time together. I enjoyed the wildlife that I got to see. I enjoyed learning about the wildlife we got to see. We had a marine biologist. His son was snorkeling with us, so we got to learn a lot about the fishes and stuff that we saw. So in the end, I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I did it. But had I not been, not necessarily guilt tripped, I'm not saying my kid guilt tripped me or anything like that, but had I not been kind of nudged, I wouldn't have done it. And I think that is manipulation. And so in some regards, yeah, I am easily manipulated because I enjoy servitude. I enjoy doing things that other people like me to do for them. I enjoy taking on the responsibility or taking on the task. And so in a lot of regards, that way, yeah. And it's been a problem. Like, it has been a problem in my life. Being too much of a servant can be a problem. And it was. I would say that was a big issue in lots of relationships, not just intimate relationships, but also friendships, that sort of stuff. It can cause a lot of problems. That being said, I'm also pretty darn good at just shutting things out. Like, I'm not I'm not going to be the guy on the street that accidentally pays a dude $20 for a picture he didn't want taken, or going on a trip like I just went on. I'm not getting duped into stuff. Like, nah, I'm not going to be manipulated that way. And I also have no problem telling people no. Like, if it's something I don't want, nah, I'm good. Move on. To give you a good example, I purchased a bottle of alcohol in Mexico that I extremely overpaid for. And I knew I extremely overpaid for it when I was purchasing. Like, it was an experience that I paid for, right? Like, the alcohol is just an offshoot of that experience. I had an interesting experience, and I ended up paying for that experience and gaining a bottle or two of alcohol in the trade-off. And was I manipulated there? Yeah, the guy was trying really hard to manipulate me, and he's, I guess by some metric he succeeded because I ended up spending the money. But I also fully recognized what was happening. It wasn't, I could have easily just been like, nah, I'm good, and walked out of there and been fine. But I chose to, I want this experience. I'm going to take this home with me and remember this experience. And so that was a choice, not really a manipulation. But for an outside observer, was I manipulated? Absolutely. Yeah. Good salespeople are good salespeople, right? And I respect it because I tried to do that and I was terrible at it. I think that answers the question. I'm not really sure. What do you think? Please leave some comments down below. Am I way off base when I'm trying to think about what manipulation is? Because I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that I'm a good judge of whether I've been manipulated or not. Yeah. That's it. What do you got going on this weekend? It's a 4-day weekend for me. We have Juneteenth on Monday, which is a federal holiday, and I get that. And then West Virginia Day is Tuesday. And being a state employee, I get West Virginia Day off. So I get a 4-day weekend, and I have no real plans other than to see my dad and spend some time with my kids on Father's Day. By the way, it's Father's Day. Don't forget. Say hi to your dad. Maybe even tell him that you think about him and you care for him, because, they're not going to be here forever. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should notice sounds smart is redolent. It is an adjective meaning an object possessing a rich scent or alluring aroma or a situation with a hint or promise of rich possibilities. Her rose garden was redolent with perfume of 1,000 flowers. Redolent. R-E-D-O-L-E-N-T. I swear I think we've already done all these. These are sounding way too familiar. But I guess not. I mean, these all sound way too familiar too, and I know I didn't skip that many pages or turn back that many pages. I don't know. I just have terrible memory.